We are finding out insane details about Kevin Durant's future. This guy hates what the Phoenix Suns just did to him. Now a locked-in reporter says KD is leaving this offseason, but his next team is straight up shocking. They would never dream of getting Kevin Durant, but now it could actually happen. So while the world shook from the Luka trade, the Warriors were trying to get KD. Forget easing him into the system, it is plug and play. He knows how to gel with Steph Curry and win championships. ESPN says on January 31st, KD randomly heard about this while the Suns were in San Francisco to play the Warriors, and he was shocked. Shams used the word blindsided. But then Steph met with KD the next day in secret. They talked about hooking back up, but Durant said, it's not the right time. I'm happy in Phoenix. But that was a lie, because a third team got involved. But a quick break to show you what I eat in a day to go from my heaviest to my leanest. So I have 5 meals a day. I start out with oatmeal, and then I have 4 meals from MyFitFoods. First, it is the salmon bowl, then it is the Moroccan chicken, then the fried rice. I finish the day off with their orange chicken. I eat this 7 days a week. I do have one cheat meal, but in about 3 months, I can cut myself down all the way to being extremely lean. And the best part, anyone can do this, and it's affordable and tasty. MyFitFoods has a ton of options for you guys to try, and I've tried a lot of these prepped meal services. MyFitFoods by far the best I have ever had. So use my promo code AMHOOPS30 to get 30% off. You can walk right into a store if you live in Houston, Portland, or Denver. It really helps out the channel. You guys get affordable, tasty meals. That is code AMHOOPS30. The idea was to get Jimmy Butler to Phoenix, KD to Golden State. But why would the Suns want Jimmy Butler over Kevin Durant? Well, the reason is they could add Butler and depth to improve the team. They have been so thin that even with 2 Hall of Famers, the Suns could miss the playoffs this year. It's not working, so try something else. But obviously they would have preferred to move Bradley Beal and bring in Jimmy Butler, but that was impossible. I mean, the Heat refused Bradley Beal's big contract. 2 teams, by the way, said they would take Bradley Beal, the Atlanta Hawks and the Washington Wizards, but only if Beal waived his no-trade clause. Automatic no. So Durant was the Suns' only option to move. But they failed to mention this to Kevin Durant. He was being shopped all over the place, to Golden State, to the Heat. Other teams called, including the Grizzlies. But KD had to find out through the grapevine instead of from his own front office. A 15-time All-Star doesn't get shopped around like that in today's NBA without requesting a trade himself. He for sure is at least given a heads up. So Durant was pissed. But we'll get back to that. For now, a 4th team was involved. This was the Wizards. And the trade that was actually decided on was the Warriors getting Kevin Durant, the Suns getting Jimmy Butler, Jonathan Kuminga, Jonas Valanciunas, 2 first-round picks from the Warriors, 2 second-round picks, and multiple swaps. The Heat getting Andrew Wiggins, a 2025 first from Cleveland via Phoenix, Dennis Schroeder, and Kyle Anderson. That is such a big haul for the Suns, but they demanded it after they sent out Mikal Bridges, Cam Johnson, 4 first-round picks, and 3 swaps to get him. I mean, they wanted some return, but that cost was huge, and Durant said no to Golden State. But why? Well, I mean, he just told Steph, I'm sorry, I'm just so happy in Phoenix. But that's not true. It was then leaked. Durant said, okay, I would go to Miami. Almost anywhere but the Warriors. What is so wrong with them? Draymond Green. Now, we don't have to get into all of this because we've all heard it before, but Dre hurt KD's feelings years ago by saying that they don't even need him to win championships, which is exactly what all KD's haters say, and nothing is more disrespectful in KD's world. But the Heat and the Warriors decided to do a deal on their own anyway, sending Jimmy Butler to Golden State, where he then signed a 2-year, $121 million extension. So, what is KD's future now? Well, Brian Windhorst says he was not happy he was put in trade talks. I think right now it is reasonable to forecast that Durant will be breaking up with the Suns in the summer. He didn't break up with them at the deadline, but it doesn't look good for the long-term forecast because he was really frustrated. And Brian Windhorst doesn't just say things like that. This is coming from KD and his agent, especially if the Suns do miss the playoffs. I mean, remember, they've been hovering around like the 10 seed all year. But two teams below them got a lot better, okay? The Warriors and the Spurs made major moves, could easily jump them in the standings. Plus, Phoenix has one of the toughest remaining schedules in the NBA. Something's going on with Devin Booker. A few years ago, he was 4th in MVP voting. Now his efficiency's down across the board. And they just got swept in the first round last year. This is miserable. KD has 1 year left on his contract. I guarantee the two biggest names this summer in the NBA will be Kevin Durant and Trae Young. Both could move. But where will KD go? Well, let's start with the outside chances before this shocking franchise. So the Houston Rockets might be interested. Woj hinted at this in a tweet before he retired. Houston has the Suns picks, which are so valuable to Phoenix that they might be able to get KD for cheaper than anyone else. And after the Rockets get a taste of the playoffs this year, KD could take their young group to a whole new level. Another team is the Oklahoma City Thunder. I mean, they've got a million picks to trade, and especially if they come up short again this postseason, it would be amazing to see KD go back to where it all started to put them over the top. But one more before we get to the shocking one is the Miami Heat. I mean, we know already that Durant is open to playing there. Their roster is good enough. They got Bam Adebayo, Tyler Hero, great rookie Khalil Ware. The deal would obviously have to center around Andrew Wiggins' contract and picks most likely. But this shocking team is the Minnesota Timberwolves. And I know that sounds insane, but The Athletic reports Durant is open to playing in Minnesota, which is wild because they have been like a basketball wasteland for 20 years. Now, KD is open for one reason. Anthony Danger Edwards.
Danger's my middle name.
Is it really?
I lied. My middle name is Jamal.
Anthony Jamal Edwards. They were like big bro, little bro at the Olympics. They have their own handshake. Ant would always follow KD out of the Team USA bus with a big smile on his face. Hit shots in practice together. KD even gave him a little lesson. But this goes back to before Paris. Last year, while the Wolves were sweeping the Suns, Ant hit a gigantic shot and was chirping at KD. What the F I say? Yeah. And people noticed a little smile on Durant's face. Look, there is obviously a mutual respect between these two. But how do we really know that KD would want to play there? Because The Athletic reports that the Wolves actually had active discussions with Phoenix last week. They brought the idea to KD then, who agreed. But because Minnesota is also a second apron team, it would have been way too complicated to get the deal done in such a short amount of time, but that could easily change this offseason because it turns out the Wolves' Karl Anthony Towns trade has been a disaster. Julius Randle is not a good fit with Rudy Gobert. He needs the ball just like Ant does. So the Wolves have gone from the West Finals to middle of the pack in the West. Ant's getting doubled more than any other player in the NBA, and it's become a problem for him. But with KD, it opens things up inside for Gobert, because KD can shoot. He draws attention from the defense so that Ant can do his thing. We probably see Durant move this offseason, unless the Suns somehow turn it around, and get ready for Ant and Durant to actually team up. But it still wouldn't be as earth-shattering as that Luka Doncic trade. The deal makes even less sense the more you think about it. But the one thing that does actually connect all the dots here has nothing to do with basketball. I mean, you can call it a conspiracy theory, but at least it explains why the Mavs would intentionally wreck their own franchise.